What's up, everybody? So I just watched President Trump's press conference today where he excoriated the media pretty much for a full hour and a half directly. But I think that some of the things that he was talking about during his speech at, kind of the beginning of this press conference is actually important to what is going on today with the media. And I really don't think the people in the media want to catch on to this because they don't seem to even realize yet that their trust has degraded to a point where nobody wants to listen to them anymore. But I think that President Trump is right in that it needs to be discussed and it needs to be solved. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff that happened in the press conference itself.
Well, the leaks are real. You're the one that wrote about them and reported them. I mean, the leaks are real. You know what they said. You saw it. And the leaks are absolutely real. The news is fake because so much of the news is fake. So one thing that I felt it was very important to do, and I hope we can correct it, because there's nobody I have more respect for, well, maybe a little bit, but than reporters, than good reporters. It's very important to me, and especially in this position. It's very important. I don't mind bad stories. I can handle a bad story better than anybody, as long as it's true. And, over a course of time, I'll make mistakes, and you'll write badly, and I'm okay with that. I think it should be straight. I think it would be frankly more interesting. I know how good everybody's ratings are right now, but I think that'd actually be better. You have a lower approval rate than Congress. I think that's right. I don't know, Peter, is that one right? Because, I think they have lower than Congress. But honestly, the public would appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. Again, I don't mind bad stories when it's true. I want to turn in CNN for not doing a good job.
And if I may follow up on that, just something that Jonathan Karl was asking you about. You said that the leaks are real, but the news is fake. I guess I don't understand. It seems that there's a disconnect there. If the information coming from those leaks is real, then how can the stories be fake?
No, the reporting is fake.
And if I may ask, I just want to ask
Jim, you know what it is? Here's the thing. The public isn't, they read newspapers, they see television, they watch. They don't know if it's true or false, because they're not involved. I'm involved. I've been involved with this stuff all my life, but I'm involved. So I know when you're telling the truth or when you're not. I just see many, many untruthful things. And I'll tell you what else I see. I see tone, the word tone. The tone is such hatred. Well, you look at your show that goes on at 10 o'clock in the evening. You just take a look at that show. That is a constant hit. The panel is almost always exclusive anti-Trump. The good news is he doesn't have good ratings, but the panel is almost exclusive anti-Trump. And the hatred and venom coming from his mouth, the hatred coming from other people on your network. Now, I will say this. I watch it. I see it. I'm amazed by it. And I just think you'd be a lot better off. I honestly do. The public gets it, Look, when I go to rallies, they turn around, they start screaming at CNN. They want to throw their placards at CNN. I think you would do much better by being different.
Just because of the attack of fake news and attacking our network, I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine...
Very fake news.
I know, but aren't you...
Go ahead.
Real news, Mr. President. Real news. Aren't you concerned, sir, that you are undermining the people's faith in the First Amendment, freedom of the press in this country, when you call stories you don't like fake news? Why not just say it's a story I don't like?
I do that.
Call it fake news.
No, I do
you're
that.
undermining confidence in our news
that.
media.
Here's the thing.
Isn't
okay,
that important?
I understand what and you're right about that. Except this. See, I know when I should get good and when I should get bad, and sometimes I'll say, "Wow, that's going to be a great story." And I'll get killed. I know what's good and bad. I'd be a pretty good reporter, not as good as you. But I know what's good. I know what's bad. And when they change it and make it really bad, something that should be positive, sometimes something that should be very positive, they'll make okay. They'll even make it negative.
Yeah, so as you can see, they did not have a good time today. One of the things that Trump was mentioning was the relationship with his administration and the media is making it impossible for him to actually do important things, even foreign policy-wise and domestic policy-wise. So being unable to go ahead and open relationships with Russia is a result of the way that the media is covering him. They will utterly blast him for anything he does on that front that even seems to be positive. And as such, he basically is forced to create a negative relationship with Russia, between Russia and the United States. How is this in any way beneficial to the people? I don't think the media cares, because I don't think that they're listening to their viewership anyway, but this is a serious problem, because now we are boxed into what the media will find acceptable, so long as Trump is reliant on their opinion for his political gain. Now, I consider this to be a political reality of democracies, just because, you need to be able to appeal to the people who are going to elect you and who you're representing. The problem is that the media doesn't represent the people's views in aggregate. They represent the views of the exact elite Washington, establishment people that Trump defeated in this election. The other thing the media is doing is creating such a shitstorm constantly, every single day, that it's impossible for anybody within the actual population to discuss what's going on any even terms. Not only is there, this meme of fake news, but people can't even agree on the most basic facts anymore. Say one side will be super happy about Trump going ahead and eliminating regulations. If the media doesn't report on Trump's elimination of those regulations, then everybody on the other side who they're trying to talk to about that will just think that there's some kind of fake news. Because, the other person must be getting it from sources who aren't on my side, blah, 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 blah. I don't see how this can be resolved until the media starts actually just reporting honestly, which is what Trump said. And, I don't think that this isn't something that's been going on forever. It's just that they have such an ability to filter out what gets big, noisy coverage and what gets, quiet, subtle coverage, that they are able to, in effect, create two separate realities that people on either side will live in based on what their worldview is. The fact is, there's just one reality, and we need to be able to find common ground in the information that we consume that will establish that one reality so that we can start actually discussing things. It appears that certain elements of the media are aiming to maintain this divide that's going on inside the population of America right now, because it seems to be a situation where the octopus of the DNC and the old political establishment is squirting its ink as a big smokescreen to try to escape while it can. And it's not even that all reporters or all members of the media are a part of that goal. I think that a lot of them are just ideologues, but that doesn't change the fact that they seem to be in sync with each other. They seem to be following a guideline or a battle plan where no matter what, they're going to be putting out the same thing or the same perspectives just because Washington Post did it, or CNN did it, or whatever. Effectively, it allows them to act as sort of a hive mind of reporters and push a narrative. It's worked really well for them so far, but they're starting to lose control of it. And that's because people are the ones who they're talking to. People are the ones who are receiving the information that they put out. And if their information isn't good, people have the capability to go and find that it isn't good anymore. You can just look at the end of the presidential campaign or look at the polls or whatever, and you can see that people clearly did not trust what CNN said. And I think Trump mentioned himself in the press conference that if people were listening to CNN, he wouldn't have gotten elected. That's a fact. And so I don't understand really why these people can't see this. In any case, let's take a look at some of the reactions of these reporters to this press conference, which, I'm sure you guys could predict. Just for fun, on the left-hand side of this video, I'll go ahead and put the reporter that I'm referring to's net worth. So Brian Stelter of CNN responds to Mr. Trump's very fake news comment with, "Real news, Mr. President, real news." Now, I'm not sure if he thinks that this is a good comeback or if he's somehow going to affect the president's, joke about CNN being very fake news here. But I'm sure that he can roll around on his piles of cash and, fuck off. Sleepy Eyes Chuck Todd says, "This is not a laughing matter. I'm sorry, delegitimizing the press is un-American." And I think this is one of the things that really bothers me. the press is not being delegitimized. The press's trust with the people is eroding. It's a two-way street. You don't just get trust, and Trump may be calling you out on your bullshit. You can't say, oh no, you called me out for lying, now people aren't going to trust me. Well, but obviously, no shit. If you lie, people are not going to trust you anymore. You can't just get away with it. And are you mad that your information can be, kind of debunked now? Are you upset that people are catching on to your bullshit now? And how is it un-American to delegitimize the press? Are you claiming that you're above criticism? It seems extremely American to me to find out what really is going on, and if somebody's lying to you, call them on it.
Well, it was a wild press conference, and I think that, first of all, purportedly, the purpose of it was to introduce his new Secretary of Labor nominee, Alexander Acosta. He talked about Jim Acosta more than he talked about Alexander Acosta. He talked about Hillary Clinton more than he talked about Alexander Acosta. He spent the first part of his remarks talking about accomplishments that he thought the media, the fake media, whatever he wants to call us, were not paying enough attention to. But then, focusing on these accomplishments and offering an optimistic, positive view of what he's doing for this country, it was an airing of grievances.
Yeah, Jake, it was negative because he has negative things to say about you. The people already know the positive things about what he's doing because they're paying attention to him through their own means.
It was Festivus. It was complaints about the media. At one point he said the leaks were real, but the news is fake, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it does make sense, because the leaks were real, but the news, the narrative, the direction that you guys have taken that information is fake. How hard is this to understand?
He said things that were not true. Peter Alexander from NBC pointed out one of them when he said he had the biggest electoral victory win since Ronald Reagan. That's not true. Clinton, Obama, George H.W. Bush, all were bigger, but...
Your complaint is noted and nobody gives a shit. And it's not even like I want to be saying, oh yeah, no, I don't care that he was wrong there. It's just that it's such an insignificant thing that you're trying to use as like, oh, look, we're good, we're better than you.
Moving on to that. If you are a soldier in harm's way right now, if you are a hungry child in Appalachia or the inner city, if you are an unemployed worker in a hollow shell of a steel town, that's not a president who seemed rather focused on your particular needs and wants.
Of course it is, because they all see that you, the media, are half the problem. Those people are in their living rooms right now cheering. They are watching Trump and laughing their asses off at you and fucking Wolf.
That's a president focused on his bad press. It was unhinged, it was wild, and I can't believe that there are Republicans and on Capitol Hill and in the White House who don't understand that might play well with the 44% of the population that voted for the president.
Yeah, you can't believe it, Jake Tapper. You can't believe that there are Republicans on Capitol Hill that don't agree with you? What are you talking about?
But a lot of Americans are going to watch that press conference and think, that guy is not focused on me. I don't even know what he's focused on.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody is watching it thinking that. I think they're either thinking, this was fucking awesome, I love to watch President Trump gut these bastards, and then the other half are thinking, oh my god, Nazi Hitler, this guy sucks, I hate him, I want him out. Re.
And as I said, it was an hour and 15 minutes.
Now, obviously, I don't think that the media is going to learn any lessons from this because, let's face it, they haven't for the last 18 months. I think, or more accurately, hope that we're starting to see a change in the winds of all this Trump bashing because people are tired of this corporate legacy media narrative of, oh my god, everything Trump does is horrible, and they're moving in other directions. The other day, you had Joy Villa come out in her Make America Great Again dress, and her album went up like 6 million percentage in sales the next day. So I think that people are going to start to see that the money is no longer here and start to shift. But one thing that I want to make really clear is that the media doesn't seem to understand the relationship that is trust. So let's go ahead and take a look at the definition of the word trust. firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. And more importantly below, relations have to be built on trust. Trump isn't just coming along and erasing people's trust in the legacy media. They're doing it themselves. People will find out information through other sources. You don't have a monopoly on it. So you can't expect people to just trust you blindly. I don't understand why you would think that, except that you have been in power for so long that you don't understand yet that the winds have changed. And they have, and this press conference shows it. So maybe you should listen to some of the things that people are saying, and you can go ahead and regain that trust, because that's how this works. You need to gain and earn and keep trust. You don't just get it by default because you have a press badge on. So let's see if the media has learned their lesson. I'm sure that after this, they have to just take some of the things that Trump said and honestly represent them and let them spread and let their own credibility rebuild itself. There's no way that they would continue to make the same mistakes mere minutes after being called out on making all of those mistakes.